Car video, no spinning. No spinning this time. We're gonna put the fucking phone in the vent filter. You're not gonna be able to see me because I'm not turning the light on. I'll turn the light on. I'll have the light on. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone in the car filter phone stand. And we're gonna see how this works. I don't give a fuck what people think as I'm driving by them. First of all, let me get out of this parking lot. It's actually, I can show you this because I'm on my phone. It's all ice. Literally the entire parking lot is ice right now. So let me get out of here first. Let me focus. Guys, they exist. This is for the fellas. Let me tell you something. Let me explain something. Everywhere you look, it looks like women are hoes. Everywhere you fucking look. I get it. I get it. I get it. Trust me. Everywhere you look on social media, on TV, on fucking in real life, it looks like girls are wearing what they want, they're doing what they want, they're getting what they want. It just looks like the world is fucked up and every woman is just a slut now, and it's not like it was before. Everything's different. First of all, there's always been hoes, by the way. Hoes have always existed. Like, prostitutes have been around since the beginning of human time. It's literally one of the oldest professions. Okay, so women have always been promiscuous. These aren't women you have to interact with. Good girls exist. They are out there. And no, not a lot of creators are talking about this shit. Bro, they're out there. Don't give up hope. If this is for the guy that's out there that's like, bro, they're all whores, like hope is lost, America's fucked. Harder, yes. Impossible, no. You cannot give up. So I'll say this, first of all. Fellas, you have to do research. You cannot consume zero literature on female psychology and nature. That is absolutely unacceptable. You will lose a relationship eventually and cause yourself a bunch of heartbreak. If you're a man out there and you've never listened to an audiobook, you've never listened to a podcast because you think it's gay or it's boring or it's stupid, you will fuck yourself in relationships. It will happen. If you make decisions based off your emotions, based on what you think is best, maybe if you gather a ton of experience, which takes a lot of years and you have to run through a bunch of women to do that, it's possible, obviously. But you can save yourself so much time and heartache by figuring out how women tick, by reading a book. Personally, I recommend a practical, I think it's like Practical Female Psychology for the Practical Man. It's by 3 guys. It's an audiobook. It's absolutely incredible. It goes into the psychology. I've talked about it on this channel a long time ago. The psychology, neurology, anthropology, and everything about women. Guys, they exist. Okay, so first of all, fellas, you have to know what you're actually looking for and what you want as a man. So if you're a guy and your mom was a hoe and was like sleeping around, first of all, you can't control her behavior. That's okay. I'm not judging your mom. But I'm saying, like, if your mom was bugging out, the odds that you could handle a monogamous relationship are slimmer than if she was with one man for your entire childhood. Does that make sense? So I'm saying be realistic. If you want to fuck around and you're not satisfied with one partner, fuck it. I don't give a shit what you do. By the same token, bro, if your mom was around and she was regular degular in the house, traditional nuclear family, that's what my mom kind of was like. Okay, you're probably not going to find satisfaction fucking around with a bunch of women that want to sleep around casually. That's not my speed. You know what I mean? And that's just me. And there's other guys that are a complete opposite. You know what I mean? So first of all, you gotta align with yourself and be like, okay, what do I actually want? Okay, and then from there, me personally, I want a woman who doesn't fuck around. Like, I want a woman who is sexually exclusive with a singular man in a committed relationship. That's what satisfies me, right? So that means that I have to look for qualities in a woman where she behaves in the way that I prefer her to behave for me. You know what I'm saying? And so then that means, dude, you got to recognize what the woman acts like that you want and then pursue that. So I'll say this. Honestly, I truly believe that it does not matter where you search for women. I think people are like, oh, the good women are in church, the bad women are in the club. Let me tell you something, bro. I don't talk about this much on this channel, but I have worked in a club, literally in a disco club, like a pub bar. I've worked in 5 or 6, let me count them. Halcyon, Duke. I've worked total 5, I think 5 bars. 5 separate bars over like 3 or 4 years, okay? There are great women and there are terrible women. The worst women are for sure in the bar, okay? The ones who have drinking as a hobby are by far the worst women that I've ever encountered personally, okay? They're just the ones who are just completely operate on what's right in front of them and are entitled and are just mouthy, go to the bar and drink every weekend. Those are the ones that I recognize. Does that make sense? Because I worked every weekend, so those are the girls I recognize. So I'll say this. The worst ones, for sure at the bar. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to find your wife there. Is that where you should be looking for your wife? It doesn't fucking matter. Because people are too caught up in like where to search, but these guys aren't talking to women at all. I don't talk to women much, for real. And that's true. Like, I'm keeping it a bean. Like, I really don't talk to many girls. Because, you know, I took some damage with that one girl a while ago, and I'm healing from that. But at the same time, I'm not in a position, I'm like waiting for a job to pan out. I want to join some job, right? And so while I'm waiting for that, I'm not like asking a bunch of girls out because I just don't fucking really want to. So if women come to me, I'll see what it's about, you know, and we'll go from there. But like, I've noticed in my experience, there's good women everywhere. They just travel. They do shit. People are like, well, the best women are at the farmer's market. It doesn't matter where you fucking actually look if you're not talking to women at all. So first of all, like, I think it takes a certain type of dude to recognize the quality in a woman from sight. I don't really, and this is something that's in the book too. I don't know. I have to think about this. In the book, they're talking about like, it doesn't really matter the woman's outward appearance, like what she dresses like, in terms of her sex drive. Like, that has nothing, they don't correlate at all, basically, is what they were saying. That's interesting. It's like, well, what does that mean? It's like, well, you know, if she dresses with basically nothing on, that doesn't necessarily mean she's fucking 90 dudes, which is interesting, you know? But that could also mean she has a low sex drive and just wants to wear that. And it's like, well, I mean, some girls just don't know better. So I think it is true that it's possible in the search for a good girl, it's possible to rule out a girl who dresses like a hoe but isn't one. And I think conversation's the best gauge for a good woman. So it's like, the question is like, well, what do you want her to say? I do really think females like reveal things the more you talk to them. They'll just, when they're comfortable, they just say shit. They'll just say whatever you want to hear eventually. So like the things that you want to know from her, the more you speak with her, the more she'll reveal, the more her intentions will come out and things like this. And so, you know, it is completely possible to find a wife, dude. And I'm just making this video because, like, I talk to some guys and they just have literally given up on finding a quality woman and have resorted to just fucking around or nothing at all, and you know, have this negative aura around all women that they speak with. There's always, like, in the back of their mind subconsciously, no way that it's ever going to work out because all women are fucked in the head. And when you go into a conversation or an interaction with that type of energy, one, I think women can feel that, and two, obviously, there's no chance you're going to find a quality woman because you're already disqualifying her in your head. So it's like you have to go with a blank slate. I do think male minds categorize things. So it's not conducive to success if you categorize her in category B before you even speak with her, because you just like have some discontent towards all women that exist for one reason or another. Now, could that be like a trauma-based thing? Maybe. But either way, I think like you should definitely never forget that good women exist. The women that you want is out there. And maybe you'll have to upgrade as a man to acquire that woman. Maybe you'll have to learn about how women work to acquire that woman. Maybe X, maybe Y, but don't quit. Don't. They exist. Like, this is true. This is true as well. I'm passing a place right now on the highway where literally there's a fire, like last week sometime, and I called the police because the fire was decently big. That was crazy. So I forgot what I was fucking gonna say. I knew I'd forget when I brought that up. I knew I'd forget. Just had a bunch of sugar, so maybe that's what it is. I just made a glass of orange juice. Salsa was good. Every time salsa ends on Wednesdays, I'll make a glass of orange juice at the bar I work at and just crush it. So fire. Yeah, but don't give up. Guys, don't quit. It's totally possible, totally doable. Oh, here's what I was gonna say. It's possible, it's very possible that subconsciously you find yourself looking for things that are not wife material. So then the actual real women that you want are behind the blinders because you're focused on other types of women. So I'll give you an example. So let's say you want, let's say you want the kind of woman I want. Let's say you want a good girl. This is just a girl who's sexually exclusive to a man she's in a committed relationship with. She has control over her sexual energy. Maybe she's high self-esteem, right? So that's why I'm kind of waiting until my job pans out, because this type of woman isn't gonna get with me. I don't have a career, right? And so dude, I can't then be spending my energy and time with females that do not qualify in this way. So I can't be fucking around spending money and time and energy and my conversations and all this bullshit with like women who don't do that shit, because then I don't have it to spend on the right ones. You know what I mean? When I'm looking at women, when I'm looking for women, I don't want to ever really spend any of my conscious efforts on the ones that I don't want really ever. So first of all, yeah, you have to define what women you fucking want. Okay, so there's guys out there who don't want there's guys out there who don't want a monogamous relationship. They find joy in fucking around. That, I don't give a fuck what you do. Me personally, that's not fulfilling. Because I enjoy deep relationships with women, and I often find that I can't have a casual relationship without getting emotionally involved with a female. So to protect myself, I just plan on waiting until I'm in a deep, monogamous, long-term, and committed relationship with a woman before sleeping with her. One, because I know what I'm doing, and two, because I get emotionally involved, and she will eventually. So it's just not worth the fucking trouble of some casual bullshit. I also don't want to kind of desensitize myself to having casual sex and things like that. So, but anyways, like I do think there's utility in focusing your efforts on the things you want your efforts to kind of focusing your efforts on what fruits you want specifically, and not focusing any effort on the fruits that you don't want. I mean, I think that's very simple. Another audiobook I listened to is a really good audiobook. It's called As a Man Thinketh. Maybe you've heard of it. It's super short. It's like 45 minutes long. You can listen to it in a car drive. Really good book. And I've applied the principles. That's one thing I've been trying to do now, is like apply principles as I learn them, because faith without works is dead, right? So it's one thing to read a book, is another to read a book and put what you learn in practice. I think this is true as well. I think if there's two men, they read the same book or consume the same literature, one reads it thoroughly all the way through and takes notes. Let's say it's some book that has to do with philosophy or like self-development or something like that. The first man takes a bunch of notes, reads the entire book, can tell you everything it says, all the shit. And the second man reads a summary and applies all the principles. Who do you think got more out of the book? Right, the second guy. So maybe that's my excuse for being lazy and not reading books throughout, like, you know, fucking full and the way through. But who the fuck has time to read? I mean, honestly, if I'm reading philosophy. And it's not because, you know, I don't know why. I do think it's because philosophy is so dense that I feel like I'm reading a lot in a short amount of time. If I was reading like fiction, I'm just reading a bunch of fucking nothing. like literally. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what I'm fucking even talking about. But anyways, like, it's true. Like, since I'm talking about fucking books, I really only find utility in reading philosophy if I read, which is rare. I read the Bible every night, and then I read, like, if I have absolutely nothing to do, I can't think of anything to do, I'll pick up like one of the 2 books that I've been reading for over 2 years. I've been reading these books forever. And I'll read like a page or maybe 3 or 4 pages, take hella highlights, and like apply the principles that I come to terms with. And that'll take me, you know, a few days, a week on its own. And I personally think that's an efficient way of doing things. I just don't see the utility, however, in reading one book on one subject when you could watch videos. I really truly think video literature is the way of the most efficient form of education. Now, is your education that in-depth? Questionable. What do you need to know? Okay, huge tangent. But yes, women are out there, bro. They fucking exist. The right one exists. If nobody tells you, Jules Video Archive is telling you not to give up the search. She's out there. But you can't be, for this woman, for the woman you want, you have to also be the man that she wants. So that means you have to analyze what the qualities are, okay, and the man that woman typically goes for. If you want a woman who's a material girl, if you want to be the provider, I'm literally spitting all this shit that's in the book. If you want to be the provider, fine. If you want to be the lover, fine. If you want to be the fucking the blue collar house dude, fine. But like, you gotta pick a fucking character and play the game correctly. It's like, if you want a girl who's bad as shit, has first of all, bad and like attractive, I think are 2 different things. So let's say you have a woman who's bad, like Miami bad, like Florida, Miami bad. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Let's say you want this girl, Miami, Florida bad, right? And she has high self-esteem. She's gonna want a lot of like shit, I think, right? So you can't be just a lover or just a house dude who can fix a bunch of shit to this woman. You're gonna have to be able to provide that lifestyle. So if that's the woman that you want, you have to adjust your goals. Now, and then you get into the question of, well, should you live to please a woman? And then it's like, well, it depends, you know? So, they're out there, though. The woman you want exists. Good women are out there. For the guys that want good women, quality, you know, you do have to become a quality guy, though. They're not fucking free. But do not give up. Ever give up. God damn it. I think I've literally had conversations with, I'm making this video, I've had 2 conversations this week with guys who have literally given up. And then I had another 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I mean completely given up on finding women. They've said the words, I've given up. And you know, when a guy says something, for the most part, he means it, especially the guys I know. Giving up. Now I'm done. What? I mean, come on, dude, you're 30. What do you mean you're giving up? Giving up on love and romance? That's, I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, like, but I will admit, it is difficult to put the blinders on and say, you know, it's difficult to say that there is no continuous impact from the media, the music, celebrities, etc. on the minds of young women. I do think they're kind of indoctrinating them into being more outwardly promiscuous. I don't think that's conducive to the success of society in general, but what the fuck do I know, right? So guys, like, just believe, man. Just believe. Small YouTube guys telling you to believe, you know? Don't give up. They exist, I promise. You gotta look for them, though. You gotta remember, these women aren't loud. They're not boisterous, right? It starts with a B. Boisterous? You know what the fuck I'm trying to say. They're not out there. Okay, which means you might have to go up to them. You might have to initiate the interaction. You might have to initiate the conversation. Okay? Believe in the dream, guys.